Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're heading back to Michigan's 36th District Court, where Carlos, of the so-called Durham family, is facing back-to-back court appearances. He finds himself in front of a judge with zero tolerance for sovereign citizen or American state national talking points. What follows is a no-nonsense courtroom showdown, where imaginary legal theories collide with real-world law, and the outcome is just as predictable as you'd think. So buckle up, and let's dive in.
Case number 225-994, count one. Only count one. Please don't. Yes, you're courting. You got to go back and forth. There's no. And also case number 225-771. Refer to title jury. So starting this case with count one weapons firearms possession by felon. Count two weapons on a firearm. Count three weapons ammunition possession by felon. Count four weapons on a firearm. Count five carrying concealed. Count six police officer assaulting and obstructing. Provincial offenders for.
Carlos, you're really not leaving much crime for the rest of Michigan. After I started covering Carlos of the so-called Durham family, I took a deeper dive into the court records to see what he's actually up against, and it's anything but minor. The records show he's currently facing a staggering 12 separate charges, including 2 serious counts involving a felon allegedly in possession of a firearm. Those details add an entirely new level of weight to his repeated court appearances and make this case far more serious than the usual sovereign citizen theatrics.
Except for a bond redetermination hearing. Appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, P86-282.
Good morning, Your Honor. Delisha Taylor Coleman, P56278 on behalf of Mr. Durham on both matters for bond redetermination.
And Mr. Durham, can you state your full name for the record, please?
Oh really? Because you'd have to hand me a slice of whatever peyote pizza you're eating to convince me that Carlos of the so-called Durham family is suddenly going to start showing up for every future court date. First, he genuinely believes the court has no jurisdiction over him. Second, a prior judge has already labeled him an habitual absconder, with a proven talent for doing the exact opposite of what the court orders. When you combine delusional legal theories with a documented history of skipping out, the odds of compliance don't just look bad, they're downright laughable.
Coleman?
Yes, Your Honor. As the court has before it, I believe Mr. Durham has a capious with this court, or maybe it was with Judge Elise Bryant. At this point, we'd ask for any capiouses to be recalled. That he is a resident of Detroit. He has significant family contacts. I'm looking up his investigation report. I'm looking up the sheet from misdemeanor felony defenders on his behalf. Long story short, we're asking for a personal bond with tether, and that he would reappear.
Oh come on, Judge. I only missed that court date because I confused it with one of the other 40 I have. Just let me out. Yeah, no. For his own good, and more importantly for the safety of the public, this is exactly the kind of defendant who needs to stay right where he is. I looked him up, and in the month of February alone, Carlos is scheduled for 6 more court appearances. So February is shaping up to be the month of love for all of us, because we're going to enjoy every minute of watching this ongoing courtroom train wreck unfold.
They look laughable.
We could address the capious of December 14th, Mr. Durham.
I'm sorry, what did you ask him? I didn't hear the first part of your question.
Address the capious of December 14th of 2022.
Yes, go right ahead.
Mr. Durham, were you aware of that court date?
Yes, and kind of no. They bombarded me with a bunch of court dates, and I kind of might have forgot it because there's so many I got to go to.
Okay,
they sent me about 40 different cards with court dates on them.
You essentially made up your court date.
I think so. I got court dates all the way to February, and
All right, that wraps up the first hearing. Now let's shift gears to the second one, which took place just 2 days later. And honestly, I don't know what's happening behind those jail walls, but every time Carlos reappears, he comes back with a brand new layer of confidence and chaos. This appearance is no exception, because with each court date, his performance gets a little more animated, a little more unpredictable, and a whole lot more entertaining than the last.
Okay. Would you reappear at all future court dates, Mr. Durham?
Yes, I reappeared. I appeared before. I was on Zoom. I was on a tether. I came to court.
Okay. Your Honor, we believe that this was just a mistake, a one-time mistake. As the court can see in the register of action, Mr. Durham had appeared at previous court dates, but as he stated, because of the number of court dates, this one fell through the cracks. But he would reappear at all future court dates. These are non-assaultive crimes. We're asking for a personal bond, reinstate the bond with tether. Would the court consider any reduction at all? I don't know if Mr. Durham can post any amount of money. Was there a change in your bond before Judge Bryant, Mr. Durham?
So what? I didn't hear you.
Was there a change in your bond before Judge Bryant?
Yeah, it was a $10 bond. That's all it is. They said it's a $10 bond. I'm here to get this bond reduced so I can get out of jail.
And you have employment?
I work for myself.
Okay, so I'm still going to keep it the same, Attorney Taylor Coleman. Because of the cases on both cases, I am going to wait until we get to the probable cause conference on the 25th with the DSU report to determine whether or not I'm inclined to reduce the charge. I need him to show the court for something, because we're back at the probable cause conference. I want you to listen up very carefully. Your next court date is January 25th. That is a Wednesday at 8:30 a.m. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you'll be zooming in from the county jail, and you'll have an attorney present to discuss with you any matters before we go on the record, okay? So show up for that, or you have to show up for that. Then your attorney then can possibly discuss something once we have a DSU report, okay? Attorney Taylor Coleman, anything from defense?
That's it. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, you all both have.
The deportation angle gets shut down almost immediately, and honestly, the irony is hard to miss. If even a handful of these self-styled American state nationals were ever treated the way they claim they want to be treated, the whole routine would probably end overnight. When someone spends all their time insisting they're not an American citizen, it's remarkable how quickly that argument falls apart when it's taken seriously.
County Jail, who just sat down about 5 minutes ago. Can you state your name for the record, please?
My name?
Yes, your name.
My name is Carlos Lorenzo, and I'm here to represent the person you got on that paper, which is an all capital name, all capital letters. That's a corporation, and I'm not claiming to be him, but I'm here to represent him. An all capital name is all corporation. I'm not a corporation. I'm not dead. I'm not a fictitious entity. So I'm not claiming to be whoever name you have on that paper, which is probably in all capital letters. That's not my name. It's two names in this court that sound exactly alike, and only one of them is mine. What name is on that paper y'all have over there? Is it in all capital letters? That's not my name, but it's my property. It's my trade name, and I own it. And I need to know if anybody has permission to use it from me. So do we have that understood? I am not a U.S. citizen, and I'm not a citizen.
Well, technically speaking, given the surroundings, he's clearly positioned on the absolute wrong end of the situation. Sitting in what unmistakably appears to be a Wayne County jail holding area, not anywhere that resembles authority or control. It's a visual reminder that no matter how confident the rhetoric sounds, reality has a way of putting people exactly where their actions lead them. In this case, the setting says far more than any courtroom speech ever could.
That person on that paper, because that person is a fictitious entity. I am actually flesh and blood. I am a man standing on the land.
Well, technically speaking, given the surroundings,
I can't help but find it hilarious that his attorney apparently needed just one prior meeting to realize that any prolonged one-on-one conversation with Carlos would be an exercise in pure misery, less like providing legal counsel and more like voluntary, self-inflicted suffering. When your own lawyer decides that limiting contact is the healthiest option, that alone tells you everything you need to know about how productive those conversations are ever going to be.
That's what I got you. Do you understand that? I'm not him. I'm claiming not to be
I heard
him.
you. I just wanted to know who you were. Thank you. I had to check there. Attorney Simon, thank you. Richard, you want to speak to your client in private before we go on the record? Because he's still talking.
Sorry, Judge. Can you repeat that, please?
Do you want to speak to your client in private for a moment? Because he hasn't stopped talking for the last 10 minutes. He's still talking. He doesn't know he's on mute, but he's been talking.
I just saw him Monday at the jail, but okay.
Okay. Because I don't think we can have his hearing unless he understands we all can't talk at the same time.
Wait a second, didn't you just say your name was Objection? Because at this point, every answer coming out of his mouth seems to contradict the one that came just moments before. The non-stop flip-flopping only makes the performance more absurd, turning what should be a straightforward exchange into a self-inflicted comedy of errors playing out in real time.
Here on the record is the people versus Carlos Lorenzo Durham, case 2259974. Mr. Durham is charged with 1 count of police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. This is a habitual offender force offense notice. Also, case 2258771, the people versus Carlos Lorenzo Durham. Mr. Durham is charged with count 1, weapons, firearms, possession by a felon. Count 2, weapons, stolen firearm. Count 3, weapons, ammunition, possession by a felon. Count 4, weapons, stolen firearm. Count 5, carrying concealed. Count 6, police officer assaulting, resisting, and obstructing. This is a habitual offender fourth offense notice. Today's the day set for a probable cause conference. Appearances.
Alexander Kirker on behalf of the people, P8628.
Good morning, Your Honor. Jonathan Simon, P35596 for Mr. both matters.
And Mr. Durham, can you state your name, please?
Objection. I'm not a mister. I just told you that it's 2 names that sound exactly alike and only one of them is mine. My name's never been spelled in all capital letters, so that is not my name. Whatever name you have on that paper is a corporation and it does not exist. That's not who I am. I'm not.
What is your name?
I'm here to
sir?
represent him.
What is your name?
My name is Carlos. That's what I go by.
And honestly, at this point, Carlos would be wise to make full use of that internal stop-talking filter, because every extra word is just digging the hole deeper. One more outburst like this and the judge won't hesitate to hold him in contempt, turning a bad situation into an even longer stay behind bars. Sometimes the smartest move in court isn't another argument, it's knowing when to stay silent. And honestly, at this point, Carlos would be wise to make full use of that internal stop-talking filter, because every extra word is just digging the hole deeper. One more outburst like this and the judge won't hesitate to hold him in contempt, turning a bad situation into an even longer stay behind bars. Sometimes the smartest move in court isn't another argument, it's knowing when to stay silent.
My name is not Mr., and I never spelled it in all capital letters. I keep explaining that to y'all, but y'all insist I'm that dead entity on that piece of paper, and I'm not.
What is your last name?
What is your name, ma'am? Can I have your name and your oath of office, please? Did you take the oath to uphold the Constitution, ma'am? Or did you take the oath to violate my constitutional rights in conspiracy with the prosecutor and the Detroit police?
Attorney Simon, what I'm getting here is that Mr. Durham is not present.
Objection, I'm not a Mr.
I can enter a capias because that's not Mr. Durham. Or
Judge, maybe we could have a competency referral.
Exactly. He's clearly playing this up for theatrics, but this judge, like the last two, isn't here to indulge sovereign citizen cosplay or entertain courtroom nonsense. That wraps up today's video. There was a bit more back and forth between counsel and the court, but the key takeaway is that a competency hearing has been scheduled to determine whether Carlos is legally fit to proceed. That decision will shape everything that comes next, and you can bet we'll be following it closely. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If not, hit dislike. And don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.